believe that it's been a year since we started turning this basement into our YouTube studio? Like literally the first video in this series was posted 1 year ago and the room's not even done yet. If that isn't like classic Becky and Chris home renovation, I don't know what else is. So at the beginning of the pandemic, when we started this studio, we decided to turn this unfinished basement into our YouTube studio filming space. We started sanding and priming the walls, and then we found mouse excrement, we found mouse carcasses, we found mouse mummies, we found full-blown mice, and we found mice skeletons. I have to get rid of the carcasses. Cool. Which was disgusting. So put our project on hold. We called the exterminator. They came in, said it was going to be a couple of weeks. They dealt with the mouse problem, and then we were able to start working on the studio again. So we painted the whole space out black. I shared the mood board with you guys. Things have since changed in terms of layout, but you'll see that in the before and after video, which will be coming soon. Then we decided to build sound panels for the studio, and then after that we started working on the matte black slat wall, and then we moved on to making the charge wall. So right now the sets are pretty much where they are, minus a couple of little things that we had to work on. The studio is an absolute disaster. It's super messy. So today I'm going to organize the studio and show you some little like tricks and hacks that I've used so far. I've actually tried to make this video like 3 times. Ow. So today I'm going to actually get to rigging up this sound blanket system. It's gonna be ugly as but it's gonna be functional. What is this now, like part 7 of the studio series? All right, let's do it. Do you remember this shit that I bought like a few videos ago? Straps, fasteners. That's what I'm using for this sound blanket situation. Not sure if this is gonna work, but we're all about experimenting here. Here's my idea. I have these sound panels that are just kind of like clamped onto that beam. So I'm gonna run a band of sticky Velcro across the top. Then I'm gonna throw some straps up over that joist to kind of wrap around them. I need to make these little pockets in the bottom for dowels. Disaster DIYs. Blankets are super uneven, so it kind of looks stupid, but I said it wasn't gonna look good. Functionality. Here's the purpose. This should be able to come down, and because of the dowel inside, we can roll it up. You can't see it, but I'm rolling it up like an ugly ass curtain with our strap. It's not pretty, but it works. So I'm super lazy and I don't want to break out the sewing machine because quite honestly, it's just not worth it. Hem tape that I bought from the internet. When you heat this up, it sticks fabric together. So that's what I'm using, permanent. Arts and crafts. Iron, don't burn yourself, it's stuck. Sometimes you gotta do sketchy rigs to make shit work. And if they don't look great, as long as they function okay, that's the main thing. Stuck together. Bet you didn't know that existed. Probably did. Every time I come down here, something just doesn't feel right. Like it's super uncomfortable. And then I realized it was the light. In episode 2 of this series, I said we need to change the lights. And the ceiling lights are atrocious. And lighting is super important, as we all know. 1 year later, we finally switched it out. We went from basically 1 bulb ceiling fixtures, 4 in the room, to track lighting in the room, which allowed us to kind of angle these spotlights at certain parts of the room. So now we have almost like more of a gallery feel. It's not really meant for filming, but more of the vibe when you come down here while you're working on setting up your stuff, while you're working on cleaning. This job calls for a contractor bag. Wow, these ceiling lights make such a massive difference. Holy shit. I got them at IKEA. They're matte black. They have 4 spotlights each, and you can actually tilt them different ways. So instead of having all of the lights pointing downwards, I've kind of like strategically pointed them at different spots. So I've got 1 light pointing at the wall over here where we're gonna hang a couple of prints, which we'll hang later in this video. We're gonna be hanging them on concrete, so I'll kind of talk to you guys about how I'm gonna do that. And then just kind of some at the shelves, some down, some out, 1 at the charge wall here. So everything's kind of lit. When you're painting your walls black, it can make a really dramatic effect and look really amazing, but you had to have the proper lighting or else it's just a suck hole for light and detail. So lighting. All right, let's keep going. At the timing right and actually scored a Pete's Pirate Life candle. Oh wait. Whoa. It smells like butterscotch. Black wax. All right, moving on. I love that there's like fake blood and syringes left over from our HIV video. If you haven't seen the behind the scenes, link it up here. Bet you didn't know that finger poke was a potato. I have this like IKEA chest that I had left over from the last apartment, which used to hold our clothes. No use for it anywhere else in the house, so I'm reusing it down in the basement. I have little labels on the fronts that kind of just say what's in each drawer. So this is the podcast drawer. So I'm just organizing all my cables for the other 2 mics that I have for when we have 4 people on the podcast. Sorry, this light is actually terrible. So just keeping everything organized and labeled. Velcro wrap ties that I use for the charge wall. Wrapped. And I just got these little clear containers from IKEA. Everything will be at the ready when the time comes if I need it, and there's no shagging around trying to unbox it or take the zip ties off. So I got the podcast drawer all done here. I've got all my mic cables here, so 2 15-footers and a 10-foot, some accessories, mic cables, XLR cables, and then accessories that go with the Rodecaster. And then I have all of these drawers, like this one has not a lot right now, but bongo ties, these little tiny like clips. This has just all accessories in it. So like little tripod accessories, tripod plates. So I just used foam core to make little like separators for the drawer, and that kind of helps. It's not the prettiest, but it works. Double-sided Velcro is actually incredible. That's what I've used to hang this little broom hook on the wall, the concrete wall. So it's just sticky Velcro on both sides, super sticky. One side on the concrete, one side on the hook. And then same thing, I just actually put the strips of Velcro directly onto the concrete and use the Velcro from inside of the softbox to attach the softboxes to the wall. Makes a huge difference. Now I can just kind of come off and take this off the wall, use it, bring it back, and put it back on. In the slat wall video, I talked about dynamic lighting and how we put Philips Hue bulbs in these Arlo pendant lights that I got from EQ3. Over the winter, Aperture sent me these B7Cs, which are basically flicker-free light bulbs that you can just use in any type of light fixture. So I'm gonna swap out the Philips Hue bulbs with 2 of these and see what they look like. I will reuse this in my lamps. Okay, Aperture bulb. One down. Okay, the lights are in. Damn, they look good. Next, before I leave you guys, we're gonna hang these prints. We're about to frame these photos that I got printed. I just got some spit on it. Great. I like custom frames like the next person. In fact, I prefer them. But for a situation like this, where I might wanna switch out the prints, I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on framing, so I'm going IKEA. These frames are called Ribba, and they're like $14 each. Ow, ow. Back out, mat out. You ever look at yourself when you're trying to do shit? You don't realize the faces you make until you start filming yourself, and you're like, oh, that's what I look like. First photo of 3 is this print of Chris in the helicopter during our Cold Island trip. I should be wearing finger condoms for this, and I should have acid-free tape. I don't have any of those things, so I'm gonna use gaff tape. Not recommended for this application. All right, let's have a look. There's number 1. We're gonna do the other 2. All right, I'm using these. Oh, these are Scotch brand. They're extremely strong. 10-pound. This will hold 10 pounds. Oh wait, now I got these other ones. These ones here will hold up to 15 pounds. I'm gonna use these ones first. Adheres to rough surfaces, perfect for outdoors. There's literally a picture of bricks and stones, including brick and concrete, so we're gonna use this one. Moment of truth. Fingers crossed they don't fall off the wall. Hey, they look good. Alrighty, that looks pretty good. Not bad for a couple of cheap IKEA frames and some like 3M concrete hooks. So we got our prints hung. There's a couple of things left to do in the studio. I have to still build this wall separation between the furnace side of the basement and the studio side. I also need to make a little wall right behind the couch set to cover up the copper pipes. You can kind of see it in the podcast setup. So once I have that stuff done, I'm gonna hang the rest of the sound panels, and then I can finally bring you guys along and show you the entire studio, do a full tour. So let me know in the comments below if there's anything you guys wanna see out of that, or if there's anything extra in terms of studio stuff you'd like to see. We will make a video about it. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you wanna check out all of the videos thus far in the basement studio renovation series, you can check out the playlist. I'll link it up here. Talk to you guys later. See you guys in the next one. I just made a quick change. Started vacuuming, started vacuuming and decided that I like this white cabinet over here. I actually have another one of these. So when I do both of them side by side, it's gonna be like a nice little sideboard bench underneath the print. Picture another one of these right there. I'm like pretty positive that by the time it's time to show you guys the studio, everything is gonna be completely different again because I love changing shit around.